These 5 things should be avoided by every Christian. Ayahuasca. Ayahuasca is a drink that has powerful psychoactive effects that people have been using for thousands of years. Just like any drug, this can have extremely harmful effects on a person, especially their mind. Now, there are substances that can make someone become susceptible to being oppressed by demonic forces. However, ayahuasca is worse in this regard. The reason ayahuasca is worse is because of the context and intentions that this drink is used with. If you Google ayahuasca, its Wikipedia page says, ayahuasca is a South American psychoactive beverage, traditionally used by indigenous cultures and folk healers in the Amazon and Orinoco basins for spiritual ceremonies, divination, and healing a variety of psychosomatic complaints. This drink is used in rituals that are specifically used for divination. That word is used all over the Bible, so we as Christians should have a solid understanding of what it means. Divination is when a person is seeking insight into something that they would otherwise not be able to obtain by natural methods. We see these kind of things all around us. Tarot cards have become very popular over the last few years as people look to powers beyond themselves to gain them insight. People are seeking more than just healing, as some users of ayahuasca claim. Many people willingly choose to not only dabble with this drink, but also participate in the rituals that are required for divination. We as Christians know that we should not be involved in these kinds of rituals. However, the allure of enlightenment, discovery, and insight is too much of a temptation for some. People who try ayahuasca often hallucinate for hours, or even days. There are reports of people interacting with demons when they fall into this helpless state. This is right where the devil wants them. In 1 Peter 5, verse 8, the Bible admonishes us, be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour. We cannot be sober-minded and watchful when we're in an altered state of reality. This makes someone hallucinating on ayahuasca an easy target for all kinds of demonic spirits to enter. Just as the lion stalks the herd and singles out the weak link, so is the devil looking for a quick and easy meal, if you will. This idea of leaving your body and being somewhere else in your mind is dangerous and demonic. We are to be of a sound mind. When we choose to enter into these planes of existence that we do not normally or naturally roam in, it's no surprise we meet demonic forces that we otherwise would not interact with. These are not enlightening or healing experiences. These are terrifying, demonic nightmares. Think about this. All throughout the Bible, we see people falling on their faces in utter terror at the sight of an angel. Angels are on God's side for good. They aren't evil. And yet, even the sight of them makes people fall on their faces in fear. How much more a fallen angel and tool of the devil? Friend, we simply were not meant to see into the spiritual realm. There are a few isolated and amazing incidents in the Bible where this happens, but we should try not to force it upon ourselves through drug use. No matter the allure, no matter the reason behind it, it is never okay for a Christian to try ayahuasca. Astrology. Astrology is very common around the world. This pseudoscience is used as pure entertainment by some. However, many people truly trust their zodiac sign to guide their path in life. Some people treat their daily horoscope reading as a Christian would treat their morning Bible reading. As Christians, we have heard that we need to avoid astrology, and I agree with that. Let's take a look at what astrology is and see why it is simply incompatible with the Christian life. Astrology is the study of how planets and stars impact us here on Earth. The day someone is born and where the stars and planets were aligned on that day is basically the backbone of this horoscope sham. It's believed that based on someone's position to the stars and planets on the day they were born, that this will influence their lives and affect the way the person is wired and how they'll behave in day-to-day situations. Are we supposed to trust horoscopes? Are we supposed to believe that planets and stars can shape our future and dictate our behavior? Certainly not. Our future is in God's hands. He can help us be the people He wants us to be. We can see from Scripture that our guidance should only be from God and His Word. Proverbs 3, verse 5 to 6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." Who will make our paths straight? Who will make it clear which direction we should go, decisions we should make, and how we should live and conduct ourselves day to day? God alone. When we attempt to navigate life through other means, such as horoscopes, we're leaning on our own understanding. One more verse to really drive this home. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Astrology is at best a complete sham and waste of time. At worst, astrology is a vain attempt at replacing God in a person's life as the director, sustainer, and revealer. Astrology is nothing but a shallow imitation of what we could have if we just learned to trust God to guide us in our day-to-day lives. Yoga. It's all just stretching and deep breathing, right? Sadly, no. If that were the case, I would highly encourage it. Stretching and deep breathing are great things, but yoga is much more than that. When a person is actively doing yoga, they're leaving the door wide open for demons. For starters, the name yoga is not just a random word that someone assigned. It has a deeper meaning. In Sanskrit, it means to unite with. When a person does yoga, they are participating in a practice that was invented to yoke up or unite with over 3,300 million so-called gods. This reminds me of what the Bible tells us in 1 Corinthians 10, verse 20. Rather that the things which the Gentiles sacrifice, they sacrifice to demons and not to God. And I do not want you to have fellowship with demons. The Bible tells us that back in the Bible days, people were making offerings to false gods. We still see this happening today. All over the world, you'll find people offering food to little false god statues. But of course, we understand that these are not gods at all. Friend, there is only one God. All other beings that are worshipped as gods are nothing more than a demon. And what are we told not to do? Partner up with demons. What is a person doing when they do yoga? Exactly. According to the purpose of inventing yoga, and according to the very definition of the word itself, yoga is partnering up with demons. What can happen to a Christian who opens themselves up to this world of demons? First, let's ask ourselves, what would a demon want with me? As those words leave our mouths, we as Christians immediately know what the answer is. They want to hurt us. The very act that a Christian is thinking they are doing to improve their lives is the very invitation that a demon waiting to hurt them is ready to accept. Yoga certainly brings about demonic oppression. What a win for the devil when an unsaved person falls victim to demonic oppression. But what an even greater victory when a Christian becomes the receiver of affliction that only the devil can bring. What kind of affliction? According to Jen Niza, former psychic turned Christian, anxiety, confusion, planting seeds of doubt, sickness sometimes even. They can actually affect your health. Again, as the Christian, spiritual confusion, spiritual vulnerability, not wanting to go to church or open your Bible, anything that will be leading you away from God. That's what the battle is. Terrifying stuff, right? Not only will yoga hurt you in so many ways, both mental and physical, but even worse, demons will stop at nothing to make sure that your walk with God is hindered. Christians should absolutely abstain from practicing yoga. Secular music. A popular downfall of Christians today, even worldwide, is the immersion of themselves into secular music. Now, music can be a powerful gift from God that has the ability to inspire. But more often than not, we see it as a tool of the devil that draws Christians away from God. Some Christians are oblivious to the messages they are choosing to consume. Oftentimes, secular music has messages and themes that are a direct contradiction to God. All of these values you find in secular music are wicked in nature. Even when a Christian is aware of this, they might fool themselves into thinking it does not affect them. However, music is so powerful that it does in fact shape our thoughts. The Bible shows us in a few different places that people of God should strive to immerse themselves in music that honors God. Christians should prioritize music that lifts Him up and causes them to worship Him. The Bible also says this in Philippians 4, verse 8. Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. The things that we dwell on matter to God. We need to make sure our time is spent contemplating things that are godly, good, and pure. We should focus on things that honor Christ and draw us closer to Him. We should avoid secular music because we do not want a wedge to be inserted between us and God. Secular music has the ability to draw even the strongest believers further from God, and therefore should be avoided by Christians. Chasing wealth. It's a sad symptom of our culture today to see many men and women, even of faith, pursuing wealth. Can God bless a Christian with wealth and financial security? Absolutely. Is money a tool where we're forced to opt in on in order to survive? Certainly. However, the problem arises when a Christian begins to trade their spiritual well-being for materialism and vanity. The problem intensifies when greed takes over and money no longer becomes a useful tool for survival, comfort, and overall contentment. Contrary to what the world around us says, money is not the key to happiness. The Bible speaks to this matter as well. 1 Timothy 6, verse 9 to 10 tells us, "Those who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap, and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. For the love of money is a root of all kinds of evil." Notice that the Bible is not calling out the person who is rich, but instead is emphasizing the person who wants to be rich. This may seem like splitting hairs, but it's really not. There is a major difference. On one hand, you could have a Christian who is rich, but humble, and this person lives day by day trying to faithfully serve the Lord and honor Him with the resources and financial freedom He has given to them. On the other hand, you could have the type of Christian that the Bible is referencing here. This person is chasing wealth. Their thoughts and actions are consumed by the desire to not just be comfortable or honor God or be content, but rather to relish in the fact that they have made it according to the standards of culture today. They desire to accumulate more and more for themselves. Friend, we as Christians have to be careful that we do not allow ourselves to fall into the trap of loving money. By all means, we should appreciate and value the things that money can bring us, but we should never love money itself. The reason for this is that the love of the money itself has great potential to breed all kinds of wickedness in our lives. I've personally seen money change other Christians for the worse. Sometimes, when a Christian begins to have seemingly limitless amounts of cash at their disposal, their sinful nature can begin to take over. And suddenly, everything they seek to accomplish in life is for the purpose of obtaining wealth. As a result, God is often placed aside, while the race for riches intensifies. Christian, please do not fall into the trap of chasing wealth. I hope these were all insightful and will help you in your faith journey. All of these things mentioned are worth avoiding and will help you guard your spiritual well-being if done so. If you find yourself steeped in any of the points mentioned, If you pray to God, He can help you overcome it. If you find yourself seeking or actively participating in one of these, recognizing the dangers is the first step, and you're already on the right track. With God's help, you can steer clear of these 5 things that we should be avoiding as followers of Jesus.
Hebrews 12 verse 2 says, "Looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and has sat down at the right hand of the throne of God." When you look to Jesus, there is no devil, no demon that can blind you. When you look to Jesus, there can be no love for money in your heart because your love for Christ is greater. When you look to Jesus, you cannot be blinded, distracted, or whisked away by immorality, sin, greed, or pleasure. I encourage you to really focus. Be fixated on the Lord. This way, you can't go wrong.